Supercars. There is no denying that the landscape of the automotive industry is seismically shifting. As we leave to another decade in the dust, here's a look back at what the last 20 years or so have brought us in the way of memorable supercars. So, without any more delay, here's a look at the 10 greatest supercars of the 21st century so far. Welcome to Nerdy's Top 10. Don't forget to subscribe us for more videos like this and do leave your thoughts in comments. First on our list comes the Porsche Carrera GT. With its 6-speed manual transmission and wooden cue ball shift knob, it's understandable why many call the Carrera GT the last of the analog supercars. Absent the sophisticated safety systems of today's latest and greatest, the mid-engine GT is a thrill ride offering a taste of what might have been had Porsche set the GT sights on the racetrack. A 5.7-liter V8 develops 603 HP and has a sound like no other Porsche engine ever made. The Carrera GT does not suffer fools, requiring skill when engaging its sensitive clutch and commanding respect when managing the rear-wheel horsepower. Its shape, the handiwork of Porsche's then head designer Harm Leahy, seems timeless and almost understated today. A total of 1,270 units were made between 2004 and 2007. Next comes the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. While never receiving the attention enjoyed by its supercar rivals, the burly SLR was a novel mash-up between Germany's Mercedes-Benz and Britain's McLaren, before the latter became a household name. The Big GT was co-developed by both companies, and manufactured at the McLaren factory in Woking, England. Its name references Mercedes 300 SLR race car from the 1950s. The 2003 coupe, styled by Gordon Wagener, was followed by a roadster in 2007 and, finally, a limited edition speedster model. The entire run of 2,157 cars came to an end in 2010 when it was superseded by the less rarefied SLS AMG that year. Power came from a 5.4-liter supercharged V8, developing a then respectable 617 HP, which gave the vehicle a top speed of 208 miles per hour. Next comes the Ford GT40. In 1966, lightning struck 3 times when Ford's GT40 finished 1-2-3 at the daunting 24 Hours of Le Mans. The first consumer-grade GT40s came out of homologation rules that dictated equivalent road cars were built alongside the racers. Fast forward to 2004, and Ford produced an homage to its famous competition machines, dubbing the supercharged sports car simply the GT. Though undeniably sexy, the new creation had no ostensible links to racing. Not until 2016, on the 50th anniversary of the Le Mans photo finish triple victory, did Ford venture down the GT road again, this time building a gorgeous twin-turbocharged game-changer whose race equivalents won their LMGTE Pro class at Le Mans, completing a half-century circle with stunning symmetry. Next comes the Maserati MC12. A kissing cousin of the Ferrari Enzo, Maserati's MC12 was built for the express purpose of competing in, and winning, the FIA GT Championship. A total of 25 customer cars were made in 2004, with another 25 in 2005, each priced at $670,541, and all were pre-sold. A final dozen were produced for racing only. Frank Stevenson, then director of Ferrari Maserati concept design and development, penned the MC12, which was built on the Enzo chassis, but was larger in every dimension. Sharing the Ferrari's same 6.0-liter V12 engine, the Maserati was deferential to its prancing horse patriarch, making 621 HP and hitting 205 miles per hour, versus 651 HP and 217 miles per hour. While not street legal, the MC12 shines as one of the most voluptuous supercars of our century. Next comes the Koenigsegg CCX. Koenigsegg Automotive is the brainchild of Christian von Koenigsegg, whose Swedish atelier has been building wildly imaginative hypercars for the last quarter century. while early iterations were only street legal in limited markets, and built in extremely limited numbers. 2006 CCX marked the carmaker's first attempt to meet global standards for safety and emissions. Though only 29 examples of the CCX were produced over 4 years, the 800-plus HP cars introduced the boutique brand to America, stoking a worldwide appetite for these wildly innovative, carbon fiber creations. Next comes the Lamborghini Reventon. Debuting at the 2007 Frankfurt Motor Show and built from 2007 through 2009, the Reventon, named after a fighting bull, was not a series production car, but a limited run of special Lamborghini supercars whose styling was inspired, according to the factory press release, by the fastest airplanes. The mechanical underpinnings beneath its carbon fiber skin were derived from the Italian marque's then state-of-the-art Murcielago LP640, which featured a mid-rear mounted 6.5-liter V12 developing 641 HP and achieving a very respectable top speed of 211 miles per hour. A mere 20 examples were made, with one additional for the factory museum. A roadster version, unveiled at the 2009 Frankfurt Motor Show, followed the stealthy coupe. Next comes the Aston Martin 177. Achingly gorgeous. Aston Martin's super exclusive 177 Hypercar is a true art form. Just 77 of these potent projectiles were built, each costing roughly $1.5 million. At its launch in 2009, this was the fastest, most technically advanced, most radical Aston ever built. And, arguably, the most beautiful. With a carbon fiber chassis and hand-formed aluminum body, it was also light yet extremely rigid. And lightning quick, courtesy of its 750 HP, 7.3-liter V12. How quick? Think 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds and a 200 miles per hour top speed. Next comes the Bugatti Veyron Super Sport. Bugatti stormed back to the modern age from the pages of automotive history with the 2005 Veyron, which announced its intentions with quad-turbo twin V8s that made an astonishing 1,200 HP. Fast forward a half-decade, and the super sport version of the Veyron promptly claimed the Guinness Book of Records title in 2010 as world's fastest production car with a 260 mph run at Volkswagen's Wolfsburg test track. The Veyron Super Sport has been eclipsed by the 1,500 HP Bugatti Chiron, which, driven by Andy Wallace, recently hit 304 miles per hour in testing. However, nobody is apt to forget the Veyron, the machine that made the modern version of Bugatti what it is today. Marco della Cava. Next comes the Ferrari LaFerrari. 2013 was an auspicious year for supercars, with no fewer than 3 major releases debuting from McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari and earning the Holy Trinity nickname. Though fiercely individual, each of the trio claimed a hybrid powertrain layout. Of the 3, only the Ferrari LaFerrari boasted a V12 engine and a raucous, naturally aspirated one, at that. The LaFerrari also happened to be the most powerful, and, unofficially at least, the most charismatic of the wild bunch. Eponymously named to suggest it was the quintessence of the Ferrari nameplate, the 950 HP hypercar may go down in history not only as the pinnacle of its era, but also as one of the greatest prancing horses of all time. Next comes the McLaren P1. Of the 3 renowned hybrid hypercars that debuted in 2013, 2, the Ferrari LaFerrari and Porsche 918 Spider, hailed from long-established car makers, while the other, the McLaren P1, was a relative newbie on the scene. Not that the British manufacturer hadn't earned itself a spot in the hypercar pantheon with the 1990s Aero legendary F1, but the lengthy absence made building this flagship like starting from scratch. McLaren used advanced carbon fiber construction based on their lesser, more approachable, relatively, offerings, but the top dog P1 claimed a screaming 903 HP and a remarkably lightweight chassis, which made it a more than worthy contender against the supercar establishment of the time. But that enough for today. Let us know in the comments below which the greatest supercars of the 21st century you think is, or maybe there is something even better than this. See you next in part 2.